Everyone, it's Shamila Ramjawan from the beautiful Johannesburg, South Africa. We are celebrating the Red Corner Show's first birthday, as well as Women's Month in South Africa, with 31 inspirational women from across the globe. Today, my guest on the show is Isabelle Stephenson, who was born in France, raised in Germany, and now in Florida in the USA. She's a certified life coach. She feels that she hit the jackpot with her life changing coaching tools because she can now take and process anything in life, anything that's thrown at her, and can still remain calm. Welcome to the show, Isabelle.
Thank you so much, Shamila, for this wonderful introduction. I'm so honored to be spending time with you today.
I think it's going to be so amazing just to listen to you and hear your journey because you have quite a history. So, to kick off, please tell me who is Isabelle, a little bit about your background, anything that you would like to share with us.
I will, but before I do that, I just want to acknowledge you for celebrating Women's Month in South Africa. What a wonderful thing you're doing in elevating women's stories, because that's what we're about. We all have a story, and you are giving us a platform to share and encourage others. So I want to acknowledge you for doing that. So thank you. Yes, I'm
Thank you,
Isabelle.
Isabelle.
I was born, like you said, in France, and I have one older brother, and we moved to Germany when I was a baby. That's where I grew up. And I did lose my mother at the young age of 6. She had leukemia, cancer, and then everything, everything changes. It's a life-changing, trauma. So I was taken care of physically, right? I stayed with my aunt and then back with my dad, and then we moved. So it was very tumultuous in my childhood and teenage years were very confusing as my dad found a companion and we moved back in with him, my brother and I. So it was never like the stable, secure home that you wish up for everyone.
Mhm.
So I feel like I always had to grow up fast without a mother. And I think one of the reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing now is because I was missing the mentorship of a mom. I reached out to other mentors along the way all the time, not consciously knowing this, but I reached out to other mentors who I just felt could speak into me and give me what I was needing. And that has stayed with me, and through them, my life has been enriched and made as stable as it can be.
Look at you now. I mean, you're just inspiring the world.
Thank you. Thank you. So my first mentor who really spoke life into me, her name is Deborah Beck, and I hired her when I went through a really dark time, a difficult time with my oldest son. I forgot to mention I have 6 children. And my oldest is now 27 and my youngest 15. And at that time he was 21 and he was just doing like a deep dive in life. He was just not doing well and
Mhm.
experimenting with like, street drugs and partying
Oh,
and things
no.
like that. And I felt like I was losing him, not physically, but losing the connection and the relationship and control. As a mom, you always want your child to be happy and safe. So I
Mhm.
felt like I lost what would make me feel calm, right? What we were talking about. I did not feel calm. So this mentor helped me with her tools just to teach me how to love him in a whole different way. And I just want to speak that to any woman any mother who's watching this, because you cannot control your teenagers or your young adult children's lives. You cannot. And letting go of that control and just loving them where they are, who they are, and accepting all that. That was like the biggest thing for me to accept and to respect. Now, growing up in Germany, respect is a big thing for your parents. And my father
Yes.
was quite old. So for me to turn that the other way, upside down, not for me to demand respect, but for me to give respect, was life changing. And I would encourage all moms to try that. And I also want to acknowledge you. I saw your interview with your daughter, and just the way you interacted with her was beautiful. The way
Thank
you
you.
honored her and the way you praised her, that is how everyone should treat their young adult child.
Thank you, Isabel. Yes, I always believe whatever you want to instill into your kids and the discipline, it begins at home.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And that is one way I would like to inspire other women, and that is to be an example, right? You're an example to your daughter, and gosh, you have so many accomplishments. I can't name them all, right? You have wonderful accomplishments in your life, and that is inspiring your daughter. And for me, I was a stay-at-home mom. I do not have the accolades that you have. I was a stay-at-home mom for the longest time, did some things on the side, and now in midlife, my passion just kind of grew in me to help others, to help other women, and to pay it forward what has been done to me. So it's never too late. I want to encourage women, hear me, I'm 52 now. It's never too late to start a business. It's never too late to follow your passion, even if it's volunteering, right? And it inspires my children. One of my daughters, I think she instigated it. I have 4 daughters and 2 sons. One day I came home and she had asked all her siblings to buy this planner for me, like a daily planner. And it was amazing because on it was like a card and it said, Mom, all the things you always wanted to do, go do them.
How awesome is that?
That touched me so deeply because I could see she was observing, oh gosh, I'm tearing up. She was observing how I'm stretching myself and getting out of my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And that is exactly what I'm coaching other women on in midlife, how to have healthier relationships with yourself, with your spouse if you're married. So, some of my clients are divorced or just going through a divorce, and you need some help in those, taking a different route in your life is difficult, or just also clients who are struggling with their teenage children or their young adult children, because we can't control them. So how do you keep a connection with them, right, without being controlling and showing them love on a whole different level? That's what I love to pay forward.
That is so true. But anyway, let me give you a virtual hug. I'm going to give you a virtual hug.
I'm taking it, and
you feel it.
Thank you so much. I'm taking it all in.
No, you're really special. You've been through so much just growing up and not having a mom. I think
yes,
that is, losing your mom is the biggest thing ever.
It's
because
difficult, yes.
You lost that nurturing part of growing up.
Yes.
But look at you now. I mean, you're a mom to 6 beautiful children.
Yes.
And at 52, you don't look 52 years old.
Thank you.
Yes. So you're amazing. And
I believe it's even, go ahead.
No, carry on.
Yes, it's because of that, it's giving me more of a passion to love my children the way I wasn't loved. That what was missing in my life, I'm so aware of that I'm extremely conscious of what I want to give my children. Does that make sense? I'm very intentional in connecting with them. Of course, I go on their nerves. They're like, here's mom again. How are you doing, right? But it's the intention setting. And that's one thing I really encourage all your listeners to do. It is very powerful to set an intention. Let's say you meet with your spouse or with you, with anybody, with a friend, with your child, with your young adult child. You set an intention of how do I want to show up in this relationship, and you decide ahead of time. You don't let their mood, because they can be moody, right? You don't let life circumstances control how you react. And that is what I meant with the life coaching tools. I can now, for myself, most of the time, we're not perfect, and I can teach others how to show up, how to set that intention very, very with full intent. Like you decide, this is how I want to show up with my child, with my spouse, with my friend, and how will I react when they do ABC? Because sometimes you can know what they will say or do, right? And then to be able to process all the emotions instead of pushing them down, because that never works, right? They might be gone for a moment, and I might be able to forget them for a while, and I can go shopping, or I can watch TV, or I can scroll social media, or eat, right? Comfort eating, whatever it is, I can push them away, but they never go away. So I have found it very, very healthy to process all emotions. And that could be disappointment, that could be grief, that could be joy, that could be anger, anything. If you process it, it has run its course, and you can release it and then breathe and be centered and kind.
Yes, and I just want to add there, because you said we're not perfect, and that is so true. And this is what the Red Corner Show is all about. It's bringing people from different walks of life onto the show to share their stories and their journeys. It's not just about high-profile people or mediocre people or people that don't have a business or don't have. Everybody has a story to tell. And this is what we want to share with the rest of the world. And the Red Corner Show is unedited, unscripted. There were no questions given to you prior to the show. So it's just as we have a conversation. And I'm just loving it so far. Yes, you're an awesome mom. And
Camila, that is beautiful that you just let women share their story, because I think that's what we're all about. We see, especially in social media, you see a beautiful picture. You do not see the story behind the picture. You do not see what happened 1 minute before that picture was taken, right? There's always a story. And I really acknowledge you for giving that opportunity for women to share, because we can encourage each other. That's what we're good at, right? When we're in the right mind and in the right heart setting, we can encourage each other and lift each other up. And that's the beautiful part of women. We can also be controlling and bickering, but if we're if we're healthy and in our right, if we learned how to be kind and how to renew our mind, it's really about encouraging other women. And that is a beautiful thing you're doing. And also the renewing of the mind is something that I loved. When I learned it, I was blown away, because often we just have so many negative thoughts in our day. You can wake up and have like a list of things to do, right? And you're overwhelmed already. Your feet haven't even left the bed, right?
Yes.
I can only imagine your schedule and everything that is on your agenda. So not to let those thoughts control you, but for you to control your mind and to renew the mind. And there's so much neuroscience out there that can prove that we can renew our mind. We can change our thoughts. We can do that. To me, that is like the jackpot. We can change our thoughts. That is just the best thing I've ever heard. Right?
Yes. The other day I got up and I was just sorting my bed out, and my daughter walks into my room, and I said to her, I wish I could just lie on this bed for the whole day and just not do anything. And then she says, but why don't you do that? And I said, I can't. It's impossible. I don't have the hours to do that. So yes, we long for those days sometimes. But then I also feel for the people that are already on that bed and can't move, especially now with COVID. People that are sick on that bed, and they are actually saying they want to get out of that bed. So, we just... everything is happening to the world right now with COVID-19. And it's really sad that everybody is being affected by this, because we're losing friends and family, and it's close to us now.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Yes, thank you. And just on, owning your own business is quite challenging, Isabelle. Yes. And we spoke about COVID-19. What challenges are you experiencing at the moment?
So COVID-19 hasn't impacted my business that much. But what is difficult for me is just that everything is new. This is the first business I'm building, so everything is new. So everything is stretching me out of my comfort zone. I think that's just the biggest thing, to learn something new every day. How do I upload this video? How do I send this contract out? How do I do this? So the coaching part, I think that's the easy part. When I have someone one-on-one in front of me, that's my zone. I'm good with that. I think the technical aspect, really. So that's I get afraid of those things. Not people. I love people. I get afraid of the tech world.
You know what's so nice about it is we have the internet. We have YouTube.
Yes.
Just search for something and it's there.
Amazing.
And you just follow the instructions and you can get it right.
It's amazing, and just it enables us to connect right here, right now, today. So it's a beautiful thing. Yes. So I have this love-hate relationship with technology. Absolutely. I love it. And then I get frustrated. But thank goodness I have some teenagers at home and it can help me.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We learn from them every day because they are techno savvy.
Absolutely. And when you mentioned we learn from them, I just have to retrace back to what I learned with my first mentor. When she told me or taught me that our children are teaching us, I was blown away. It's like, that's not how I was raised. I was raised, you're the parent. You tell your child what to do, how to be, who to become, right? But when she told me they're your best teachers, I was like, yes, they are. Yes, they are. They teach me every day. If I am open to learning from them, it's a whole new world. And I can only tell you how my parenting has changed, how my whole life and all my relationships have changed because I'm willing to learn from them. It's a beautiful world now when you can do that.
That is the most incredible thing that we can actually say we learn from our children, because
Right?
I think, in our daily lives, we learn from different people, and every
Yes.
day we can take away something. And
Yes.
especially with having a chat with you now, there's so much that I can learn from you.
Oh, I absolutely can learn many, many, many things from you. Yes, it's really the mindset, right? That we're open to learning from whatever life brings to us. And I am first and foremost a mother to my children, right? And a spouse. So what can I learn from all these relationships? I mean, that's why I'm a relationship coach. I practice every day. I have no choice. I have to practice every day that something happens. If I could just give a very small, non-dramatic example. So
Yes.
I was in the car with my 17-year-old daughter. She's a junior in American high school, so she has 2 more years. And she's in high school, she has a job, and she probably wants to start up her sport again. And she has a boyfriend and friends. And I was very worried about her taking too many hours for work, right? And not having enough sleep.
Mhm.
So I mentioned to her, please do not take too many hours in the school week. I want you to be rested and have enough time for your friends and for sleep. And she was so sweet. She's a very determined young woman, right? She knows what she wants and she's going for it. And she said, Mom, I appreciate that you're concerned about my health, but I'm fine. I'm fine. I can handle it. And that is one way I can learn from her. I was about to control a little bit, right? I was about to manipulate a little bit, but
Did
no,
you cry?
she won't have it. She
Did
won't
you
have it.
cry?
No, but it actually warmed my heart the way she said it. Like, Mom, you don't have to worry. I've got this, and I appreciate that you're concerned.
Mhm.
So I just thought that was a beautiful moment.
Yes, for sure. But at least, you have that connection and that relationship where you can speak to each other.
Yes, and that I have to say that takes intention and it takes time. And if I can encourage your viewers, they're mostly women, right? If I can encourage them, you cannot change a relationship from one day to the next. You cannot go from this is horrible to I love this, or you cannot go and change your mindset from this is gonna be a terrible day to this is gonna be an awesome day. It doesn't work like that. And that's why I named my business Step by Step Relationship Coaching, because you can do one thing new per day. You can do one thing, right? Let's say it's this daughter. Let's just stay with that example. And let's just say I want to connect with her more, right? So instead of just saying the same old when she comes home from school, I could ask her a different question, or I could just say, oh, it's so good to see you. How was your day? That is one little change. And if I do that, it's like the compound effect, right? If I do one little change daily, it changes later on, right? So I don't ever tell a woman to change big. It's impossible. We need step
It's got
by
to be
step by
gradual.
step,
Yes.
gradual. And just like in the financial world, right? You invest a little bit, right? And it grows.
Yes.
You let it sit in the investment fund, and then it just grows in interest. And that's the same thing. You can do things in your health, in your business, in your life, in your relationships, just by one small change a day. So it doesn't have to be overwhelming, right? It
That
doesn't
is
have to be.
that's great advice. Yes. You
Mhm.
can't just expect to go into leaps and bounds. You got to start off small and just grow.
Exactly. And then
Yes.
it's not as scary because I get scared. I get scared of big changes. So if I can do one small thing to get me ready for the right, then you warm up towards the bigger change, and then it's more natural. It's just, I think it's easier on our brains, on our bodies, right? Because I freeze up. As I told you, when things get too difficult, I'm like, oh, I don't want to run. But just knowing I can change one thing per day, right? That 1% change can grow huge dividends along the line, and that is doable. Then your mind says, oh, I can do that. I can do that 1% change. I can take 5 minutes for yoga, or 5 minutes for deep breathing, or I can connect with my child for 5 minutes. I don't have to go on a big vacation with them to grow a good relationship. I can connect with them for 5 minutes a day. That is a small change, and it's doable, and then your mind is not working against you. That's one thing I love about the mind. We can work with it, so it's not working against us, because often it just tells us freeze, fight, like, right, fight, flight, or freeze. So if we have a doable action step, it's not going to do that, and then we can work with our brain. So renewing the mind one little thought at a time.
Yes. So it doesn't become overwhelming. It reminds me of when you're in high school and you
Mm-hmm.
suddenly have to go to tertiary, to university, and this whole big transition.
Yes.
It's so overwhelming. And then it's also the method of teaching and everything else that you've now got to start getting used to.
Yes, everything's different. That is a very good example. Yes, and kudos and hats off to all the high school teachers who are preparing our children for university, right? If they choose to do so. Yes, it's a big transition. It's a big transition. Yes.
And
Yes.
we as academics and lecturers, we have the challenges of getting the high school kids into university.
You are on the other side. Yes. So maybe we can collab, me as a mother and you as a lecturer. How can we help you and how can you help us, right? And again, it's if it's a teamwork, right? And you tell us, hey, if you can prepare your child with this, that would help me, so I can lecture easier, or they can take it in better. So that would be, would be helpful to know for the parents out there what they can do to prepare their child, right?
Yes, I think it
Yes.
makes it a lot easier if we can get our kids to read.
Read.
Yes.
Yes.
Read and
That's
follow
a big thing.
instructions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggie at the moment.
To read instruction, it sounds so simple, but I guess that is a struggle.
Yes, it is a
Wow.
struggle because students don't read, and then you find your inbox is just so flooded because it would be
With
stuff that you've
questions.
announced, on the platform, and they didn't read. And they ask you the
Oh
very same
boy.
question, and that can be quite frustrating as well.
I could see that being very frustrating. Yes, because you've done your part and it didn't make it into their agenda and their minds. Yes, that can be frustrating. Yes.
Especially when you're working with thousands of students.
You cannot answer thousands of emails.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
But Isabelle, just you touched on the intentions list, and for me, I create an intentions list every year in December.
Beautiful.
And what I do during the course of the year, I look at it and I rework it, and I think about what I've achieved so far, if I did achieve it or didn't, and then rework it again. So that's my task in December. Usually, it's for the new year.
Beautiful.
How often do you think one should create an intentions list and work on it?
That is a good question. I think it's a very personal question, because if it works for you to do it once a year and then you just check in maybe monthly or quarterly, and that works for you, right? That is beautiful. I think for me, I would need to check in with myself a lot more often. Right. So I
Okay.
think it's a very personal decision. You seem very goal oriented, very focused, right? I'm scatterbrained all over the place. So I need to remind myself a lot more often. And I have worked with a wonderful coach. Her name is Terry Foy, and she does vision boards. She calls herself the cheerleader of dreams. So I have my vision board right in front of me, and my word for the year was focus. Right? focus because I get distracted. So the intention, it really depends on the woman. It could be daily. You could write a daily intention. Today, I want to show up in this way, or for the week or for the month. This month, I have the intention of reaching this goal and that goal, right? So a lot of those things are done quarterly, right? Definitely the yearly, but I really like the, to kind of cut them up a little smaller for people to check in more often.
Yes, I
and
like
see
the
where
idea.
you are.
Yes, for sure. I like the idea of the vision board.
Yes.
And also with the daily affirmations that you can stick on there as well.
Oh, yes, yes. Those are beautiful. I actually print out a sheet daily that has my goals, my goal-oriented tasks for the day, 5 things that I'm thankful for, and my daily tasks. And then I have, oh, that's one important thing I almost forgot. Then I have one line that says, I acknowledge myself for. And that is very difficult for women to do. And that's what I love to bring out when I'm coaching them. I show them what they have done. I show them what they're good at. I show them, hey, you have accomplished ABC. You can handle what's coming next. You have accomplished so much already. So I point out what they're good at. They might not be able to see it themselves, right? So a coach can kind of see beyond those stuck moments and those, limited mindsets. And I show them what is there, what they have already done, and that gives them courage to step further into the future, right? So the acknowledging themselves, I find that very powerful and very difficult for many women to say, I acknowledge myself for. But since I deal with women who have like difficult relationships or difficult marriage, or who have left a marriage or been divorced or served divorce papers, to them, they really need that. They really need to speak life into themselves and to be proud of themselves if nobody else is doing it for them, right? Acknowledge yourself. I find women have a hard time with that, but I like to pull it out of them and encourage them. So that's one of my daily practices, to say I acknowledge myself for, and then whatever comes to mind, I write it down.
If you had to give advice to someone who's just recently been divorced, what would you tell the person?
There's many things. So one thing is really to figure out their needs. And I have a tool called the 6 human needs. So I would help her see what her needs are, right? So they go, I have them in front of me. They go from security, freedom, love, recognition, adventure, and growth. And then we decide, I help them see what is their top 2 needs. And then I encourage them to fill that. It's really more like if you go through life feeling empty, right? You have nothing to give. Life is overwhelming. Everything is new. So I really start with them to fill their own needs in whatever small way, right? Those little baby steps, right? Those little affirmations, maybe an affirmation a day, maybe an acknowledgement a day, and to encourage them. What do you need right now? That is a good question to ask, right? What do I need? Because women always give, they always serve, they always, right? We're always giving. And so to ask themselves, that's what I would ask her. What do I need at that moment? And just wait. And wait to hear what your body and your mind is telling you. What do I need right now? Maybe I need to lie down for 5 minutes. Maybe I don't need to respond to that awful text that I just received. Maybe I just need to set boundaries. Maybe I need to take care of my own finances first. What do I need right now? That's the question. And then to help her feel that before she can go on, because it's too overwhelming.
Fantastic. Wow. Yes, I'm learning so much from this today.
Thank you.
Isabelle, where to from here? I know you're busy with your business, starting it up. Where to from here? What's next in the pipeline?
I have a few things in the pipeline. Actually, I want to collab with 2 important ladies. I want to help them coach the people that are in their courses, but I won't give any names. So I want to help them help the woman that they're serving, right, in their relationships. And also you've heard of Joe Wheeler, right? So I am preparing to host a retreat in Northern Italy, and I couldn't be more excited and more scared.
That is
And
amazing.
it is an amazing opportunity to work with 10 women, a very, very small group, right? And to pour into them whilst seeing beautiful, beautiful cities in Northern Italy, and just to speak into their lives and to pass down those tools that I've learned. So that's the biggest thing happening. And that retreat will be November into December of 2022.
Wow.
So if anyone's interested, message me, or even one-on-one coaching. I'd love to do that. And if I may leave a gift to your listeners, if they can go, I would like to offer them just like a 15-20-minute coffee chat, not a sales call, just a conversation to get to know them better. Sometimes they just need a listening ear and share their story, right? So just like a 20-minute, 30-minute chat. If they want to do that, they can go on my website, isabellestephenson.com. That's Isabelle with an LLE, and then stephenson.com. And they can just send an email with the subject line coffee chat, and I will get back to them. I would love that.
Awesome. I'll also add your details to this when I post the video.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
So people can get hold of you. Mm-hmm. So Isabelle, it's an important month for South Africans. It's Women's Month. What is your message of hope and inspiration to women?
Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Like, my message is there's always an option. You do that baby step. You do one baby step at a time. You don't need to change everything in your life, right? And acknowledge yourself. There's always an option, and acknowledge yourself for one small thing that you are about, that you did that day. Go from there. Don't give up hope.
Love it. Thank you so much. What a nice way to end the show today. Thank you, Isabelle Stephenson from Florida, USA.
Thank you
for chatting to me on the Red Corner Show. Really, really inspiring.
May I give one quote before we say goodbye?
Yes, please.
I'm not sure of the author, but it's right in front of me on my board, and it says, "You've got a new chapter to write, and it looks nothing like the old one." I just love that. It's the opportunity, it's the hope, it's the encouragement. Just start writing your new chapter. Do that one baby step.
You're going to leave that message of hope to everyone out there.
Yes.
Thank you, Isabelle.
It's an honor to be part of this. Thank you so much, Shamila. Encouraging women and empowering them must be the best thing in the world.
It's so fulfilling. I'm loving it. And I'm just loving just meeting all of you. It feels like I have you right in front of me in my room. So thank you so much for sharing your journey.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor, complete honor. Thank you, Shamila. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All the best. Bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.